Good, happy Thursday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my morning news report right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. Governor Sununu to be sworn in for second term on Thursday. Governor Chris Sununu will be sworn in today for his second term as governor of New Hampshire. The inaugural ceremony and the governor's speech can be seen live on WMUR TV and live streaming above this article on WMUR.com and inside the WMUR mobile app. And we will be sure to share a link with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. In inaugural address, Sununu to urge spirit of cooperation with Democratic legislative majority. After being sworn in for a second term Thursday, Governor Chris Sununu will reach out to the new Democratic majorities in the State House and Senate and focus on key areas of public health, particularly as they relate to children and youth. According to an overview released Wednesday by the governor's office, Sununu will cite the high rate of hereditary cancer in New Hampshire. A study last summer by the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that between 2003 and 2014, New Hampshire had the highest rate of hereditary cancer in the entire nation. According to that study, there were 816 cases of hereditary cancer in New Hampshire recorded between 2003 and 2014. That's a rate of more than 205 per 1 million, which was the highest rate in the United States. Sununu will also discuss ways to address the state's high rate of youth suicide. He will call for continued innovate education initiatives and continued tax relief, his office said. Some Democrats want to repeal the business profits tax cuts entered in 2016 under a budget signed by former Governor Maggie Hassan and the additional BPT cut that took effect on Tuesday under the budget signed in 2018 by Sununu. According to experts of his speech released by his office, Sununu will show recognition that the dynamics in the state legislature have changed dramatically, with Democrats holding a 223 to 167 majority in the House and a 14 to 10 majority in the Senate. In November, the voters of the state set us on a path that requires that we as state leaders come together, embrace a spirit of cooperation, and work together to get things done for the people of New Hampshire. They deserve nothing less, Sununu will say. The reality that Sununu is expected to mention that the Democratic majorities are not vote proof, with 268 voters in the House and 16 votes in the Senate required for the necessary 2/3 majority to override vetoes. New Hampshire has sent us here to conquer, to deliver results, he will say, according to the speech experts. There will be times when we will disagree, without a doubt, but let's do so in a way that is free from insults and personal attacks. We are here for a greater purpose, to represent the needs of our Constitution, disagree respectfully, and focus on moving forward in areas where we can find common ground. But Sununu will warn the state budget cannot and should not become a vehicle for political victories or policy-driven battles. The budget is a roadmap for responsible spending, not some partisan-driven political agenda. New Hampshire is better off today than it was 2 years ago. We have the lowest poverty rate in the nation. Business taxes are at their lowest in decades, and more than people are working than ever before. Citing what he views as legislative achievements that he led or supported during the past 2 years, Sununu will mention full-day kindergarten, comprehensive child protection and welfare bills, and the new hub in Spoke model, which he said will serve as a model for the nation and creating long-term solutions for the substance use disorder crisis. The inaugural ceremony is scheduled to begin at 11:15 a.m. Thursday, with Sununu's speech expected to begin at about 12 p.m. The inaugural ceremony and the governor's speech can be seen live on WMUR and streaming live on WMUR.com and inside the WMUR mobile app. And we will be sure to share that live stream with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. The state of New Hampshire is stronger than ever. Tomorrow, I'll deliver my inaugural address and share my vision on how we can work together to keep the Granite State moving forward. Here's a look back at our first term in office. And let's take a look at that video from Governor Chris Sununu.
He isn't afraid to have a little fun on the job, whether he's blowing ceremonial horns or drag racing school buses with the governor of Vermont.
In another win for the governor, lawmakers have also approved a plan to partially fund all-day kindergarten.
It's about saying that New Hampshire isn't going to be left behind in education. We do lead the country in so many areas, and we're going to keep leading the country.
Chris Sununu signed legislation paving the way for New Hampshire firefighters to make workers' compensation claims for cancer.
This bill will help those firefighters and their families to ensure that they will be financially protected if tragedy should strike.
The Grapponi Automotive Group in Bow is one of the first businesses to adopt Governor Chris Sununu's recovery-friendly workplaces initiative. On Tuesday, Governor Sununu touted what he described as the immediate success of the program, which aims to provide guidance and support to employers, so in turn, they can support employees in recovery from addiction.
Governor Chris Sununu signed into law a measure aimed at protecting New Hampshire's drinking water.
There is no greater faith in government than we place than every time we turn on the faucet and hand our kids a glass of water.
Tonight, Governor Chris Sununu has signed a bill into law that expands healthcare access for veterans.
And the law cuts down the red tape for veterans to be treated by doctors and nurses who don't work at the Manchester VA. The new law allows physicians to obtain licenses to provide veterans care at various New Hampshire hospitals. Previously, that process could have taken between 6 months to a year. Advocates say it'll now take just weeks.
Tonight, a key piece of the state's Medicaid expansion plan is getting a thumbs up from Washington. Governor Chris Sununu says the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services have approved a work and community engagement requirement that's incorporated into the state's reauthorization of Medicaid expansion. The governor says it's the green light his administration has been waiting for.
Okay, and there you go on that video. And that does it for my morning news report right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you back here later on today. Goodbye, everyone.